Hello, I'm Dalau.
And I'm Tigarg.
And this is our Duo Arena.
The last sword is made of crystals, which I love. The guard's axe is super shy. Kaili! Banglain Dalau Tigarg and Dalau is super strong.
So when we start off, we like to do a food check. So usually we check to make sure our food is up.
And then the first thing we do is we always cast the crystal on our side, which I think is basic arena for everybody. So here we were trying to decide who to get it, and I decide I'm in a good enough position, I'll let Dalau take it, and I'm going to defend our healer from anybody trying to dive our backline. And I know I'm in a good position, because now Dalau has enough space to come and back me up and protect our healer.
So we chase off this Infernal Sight.
So this Infernal Scythe was actually pretty decent in how he played it because he was capable of surviving. The problem with what he did though is he was brought low enough that it put pressure on the healer because me and Dalau were focusing the healer, he now had a choice between the rest of the team, the Infernal Scythe, or himself.
Score! Take out the healer. Now it's cleanup duty. Unfortunately, they just killed our healer.
But we know we're going to win this fight because we took out their healer first and we have an overall higher life score than usual. So over there I'm still fighting till the very end, and I keep fighting because I have my undead cape. I know that if anything happens I'll just turn invisible and run away from the fight.
So without the healers in the fight, you can see it's just cleanup duty and we win the first team fight. Cha-ching! Now is the time where we start to take crystals and we're controlling the map. Of course we want to heal up again.
This is what a good healer does, healing just by walking back.
Pressure.
They made a total newbie mistake here. They totally overextended. Not only did they give us the kill, but they kind of wasted their time. Even though they prevented us from getting the crystal, because he went in alone, he died, and it made the entire enemy team lose a bunch of damage. So one important thing that you should know about top-down games in general is you should never really trickle into a fight if it's a 5v5 team fight.
Take it down!
And now as he takes this, we're taking back the towers. Okay.
So I saw this, so the longbow in this video actually had the most damage on their team, but from my perspective here, I'm not sure about that yet, but every time I see that longbow, I try to avoid it, and I actively try to avoid it.
Oh yeah, he does a ton of damage. He hits like a truck, and you'll see that he does a ton of damage. That was our healer that just went down. That was no good.
But we ended up killing their healer, and because their team was squishier overall in general, and they weren't exactly working together in focusing people very well, they kind of just, after they focused on their healer, our healer, they kind of like spread out a little while, and because they had no healer, they had no backup for each other. That Death Givers is totally going solo. He is totally just trying to dive the backline, and the rest of the team is not backing him up.
Yeah, see how much damage this longbow does? Right now in this meta, yeah, longbow is doing a ton of damage. But that second team fight was quite more evenly matched. We did have the jump on them when we took out their healer first in the first team fight. Okay, so now that we are grouping up again, it is 3v5 at this point, right? So they don't have the whole team out, so we are able to push them back into their base.
So I decided to run in there alone because I just respawned, I had full health, and they have just burned all of their cooldown. So we put a bunch of pressure on them and chased them back into their base.
And we have all three towers, so we're in top shape right here.
So as you can see, that longbow, I was actively trying to get out of that longbow area.
What I really like is that Tigarg likes to run Druid on it, and so he drops that mana, allowing us to keep sustaining so we don't have to keep dying and going back to get our mana back.
So in long-term fights, the enemy is going to run out of mana before we do, and we basically have infinite mana because I'm running an 8.4 Druid Helm, and that's just giving us all of our mana back.
It's a very powerful thing when you're doing a 5v5 fight, when you can keep sustaining your mana.
Because even though it doesn't maximize my damage, it maximizes the team's damage, and it maximizes the team's sustain. The key to most 5v5s is knowing your limits, knowing how much damage you're capable of taking, and running in when you know that you can get that.
Well, and there's the fight. You can see I captured most towers. Tigarg gets the top damage on our team, and as you can see, the longbow has the top damage on their team. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe!
Don't forget to subscribe.
Kaili!